Ever get that feeling, when you're trying to learn something new and you're just like drowning in information?
Oh, absolutely.
You've got articles, videos, even dug out an old textbook maybe, but you still can't quite wrap your head around it. It's overwhelming.
It really is.
That's kind of how running a business can feel sometimes, am I right?
100%, yeah.
So today, we're diving into something that might be that missing piece for some of you listening, business coaching. Is it worth the hype or just another one of those trendy business expenses?
Mm-hmm.
We've got a great article here all about how coaching can actually, seriously, help businesses grow. Plus, we've gotten a glimpse into one coach's own philosophy, which is always interesting to see.
Yeah, always helpful to get that perspective.
Ready to unpack all this?
Absolutely. And, you're so right about that information overload thing. It's a real struggle for entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
There's just so much to learn, so many directions you can go in. Easy to get lost in all of that.
Totally. Okay, so let's break it down. This article we found defines business coaching as having, quote, a seasoned professional who provides guidance, support, encouragement, and accountability to business owners. So it's not just about telling you what to do, but also like being there with you to actually help you get there.
Yeah.
And they made a good point about the difference between coaching and, say, mentorship or having a board of directors, especially for solopreneurs out there. It's a different kind of support.
Oh, huge difference. Mentorship is great, don't get me wrong. But it's usually more, off the cuff. Whereas a coach is coming in with a structured approach and strategies they tailor for you. And then there's that accountability factor, which we all need sometimes, let's be real.
Totally. Like having that workout buddy that makes sure you actually get your butt to the gym.
Exactly. And speaking of showing up, this article, it really gets into the nitty-gritty of the struggles entrepreneurs face, which I appreciate. Things like stagnant growth, feeling overwhelmed, maybe your marketing isn't quite hitting the mark. Any of this ringing a bell for you out there?
You know what it reminded me of? They were talking about the limits of DIY, and I immediately thought of this time I tried to bake sourdough bread from just YouTube videos. Total disaster. Turns out those crusty loaves, they take more than just watching someone else do it,
Oh, I love that analogy. Because it's true for business too, right? You can read all the books, watch all the webinars, but sometimes you really need that personalized guidance to avoid a meltdown or a soggy loaf in this case.
And that's where a good coach steps in, right? They've got the experience, they've seen it all go down, so they're there to help you troubleshoot when things inevitably go sideways.
Yeah, for sure.
Plus, and the article really highlighted this, coaches are great at spotting those blind spots we all have in our businesses. They've got X-ray vision for opportunities and weaknesses we just wouldn't see on our own.
You know what I find fascinating? A lot of times, those blind spots, they come from our own assumptions, We're just so close to our businesses, it's hard to get that objective view. A good coach can provide that objectivity. They help you make decisions based on data and strategy, not just your gut feeling, which can be tough to go against sometimes.
Right. So they're like that friend who can tell you your new haircut isn't really working, but for your business.
Exactly.
And most importantly, you actually listen to them because they know what they're talking about.
Exactly. And they won't sugarcoat things, but they'll deliver that feedback constructively. And then they'll help you find solutions that work for you and your goals. Sometimes you just need that honest outside perspective to see the bigger picture and actually make some real progress,
100%. And, when we're talking about getting that outside perspective, it's especially important when it comes to strategy, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Like this article made it clear that a good coach doesn't just hand you some generic plan and say, go forth and prosper.
Right.
They actually take the time to understand your business, your goals, even the specific market you're trying to navigate.
It's like, think of it like this. Would you rather wear a custom-tailored suit or try to squeeze into something one size fits all?
Ooh, I like that. So how does this play out in the real world then? Say our listener is in a super competitive market, like, I don't know, Vancouver's food scene.
Oh, good example.
What's a concrete example of how a coach might help them, really stand out from the crowd?
Okay, so you're this food business owner in Vancouver, right? Mm-hmm. And it's easy to feel like, okay, I got to be on social media, I got to offer delivery, I got to do all the things.
Mm-hmm.
But a good coach is going to help you cut through that noise.
Yeah.
They'll help you figure out what makes your business special, what makes you stand out.
So instead of just copying what all the other restaurants are doing, they help you figure out that secret sauce.
Precisely. They help you clarify your brand message, so you can communicate that uniqueness. Mm-hmm. They help you zero in on the right customers for you. And they might even help you uncover some opportunities that you didn't even know were there.
I like that. Okay, now let's shift gears a bit and talk about another thing this article touched on, accountability.
Oh yeah, the big one.
Because let's be real, we all have those to-do lists that never quite seem to get fully checked off.
It's a classic entrepreneur struggle. We're great at the ideas part, not always as great on the execution side.
Tell me about it. So, a coach can be that external force, right? Like that little nudge, or sometimes maybe a big shove, to keep us moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine they're not afraid to like call you out if you're slacking on the goals you set, right?
Yeah.
Nicely, of course.
Absolutely. They're not there to be your best friend necessarily. They're there to help you grow your business. So yeah, they'll help you break down those big scary goals into manageable steps, and they'll definitely hold you accountable for making progress.
It's like having a built-in deadline buddy.
I love that. Yeah.
Now, something else I found interesting, they mentioned the difference between one-on-one coaching and group coaching. Kind of like choosing between a personal trainer and a group fitness class, but for your business.
That was such a good analogy. And there are definitely pros and cons to each one. So one-on-one coaching, it's incredibly personalized. It's all about you, your challenges, even those, those deeply ingrained habits or beliefs that might be holding you back.
So if you're wrestling with something really personal, like, I don't know, imposter syndrome or something, or maybe going through a tough transition in your business, one-on-one might be the way to go then.
For sure. For sure. It's that safe space to really be vulnerable, to dive deep and get laser-focused guidance.
Got it. Now, what about group coaching? That sounds kind of fun. Like a mastermind, but with an expert guide there to keep everyone on track.
You got it. Group coaching, it's all about those new perspectives and tapping into the collective wisdom of the group. Being surrounded by other entrepreneurs who are in the trenches with you, it's incredibly validating, and it can be super motivating too.
Yeah, for sure. And there's something to be said for being able to learn from each other's experiences, right? Like hearing about someone else's aha moment, or even just knowing you're not the only one who stumbled along the way.
Absolutely. You might pick up a game-changing tip from somebody, or maybe you hear another entrepreneur's story, and it helps you reframe your own challenges in a whole new light.
Oh, I like that.
And let's not forget the practical stuff. Group coaching is generally easier on the wallet, which is a big factor for a lot of business owners.
True. It's like getting the benefits of a coach and a peer support group all in one.
Yeah, exactly. So much value to be gained from that shared experience.
So it really comes down to figuring out what works best for you, right? What kind of support system are you craving?
Mm-hmm.
Do you thrive in that one-on-one setting, or does being part of a group really light you up? No wrong answers, just different strokes.
Exactly. The important thing is to choose the path that feels most aligned, with your personality, with your budget, with the specific stuff you're dealing with right now in your business.
Yeah.
The best coaching experience is one that feels comfortable and transformative at the same time. You know what I mean?
100%. So we've talked about, the different approaches to coaching, like one-on-one versus group and all that. But how do you know when it's actually time to take that plunge?
Yeah, good question.
The article had some good examples of, scenarios where a coach can really make a difference.
Well, it can be something as straightforward as just feeling completely overwhelmed, like you're drowning in to-dos and you just can't seem to catch a break.
Oh, yeah, I know that feeling. It's like you're spinning your wheels, like no matter how hard you're working, you're not really getting anywhere.
Exactly. Or maybe you've hit a plateau in your business growth and you just can't seem to bust through to that next level.
Yeah, those are all pretty clear signs, I'd say. But sometimes it's subtler than that, isn't it?
Oh, for sure.
It's like this nagging feeling that something's off, but you can't quite put your finger on it.
Totally. It's that lack of clarity, the feeling of, wait, is this it? Is this all there is? Mm-hmm. Those feelings are valid, by the way, and a good coach can help you work through that. They can help you rediscover that sense of purpose, that excitement.
It's like having someone come in and help you declutter, but not just your physical space. Like decluttering your mind so you can actually focus on what matters.
Oh, I love that. Because it's not just about, fixing problems. It's about really unlocking your full potential,
Yeah.
Creating a business that you're actually jazzed about.
Well, yeah, totally. Okay, but how do you know when you're actually ready to invest in coaching? Because let's be real, it's not exactly an impulse buy.
True.
It's not like grabbing a $5 latte.
Right. It's an investment for sure. An investment in yourself and your business. And, the article made a good point about really viewing it as an investment that's going to have a long-term return, streamlining how you do things, making smarter decisions, avoiding those costly mistakes. That all adds up to a healthier bottom line over time.
Totally, totally. Plus, think about all those hours you'll save by not having to endlessly Google things like how to market my business or how to manage my time, Having an expert on call is like, well, maybe not a shortcut, but it's definitely a more efficient way to get where you want to go.
Right. It's about working smarter, not harder, as they say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And having that support system there can make all the difference in the world.
100%.
Now, speaking of support, there was something in this article that really caught my eye. They were talking about money-back guarantees. Is that actually a thing with business coaching?
Oh, yeah. More common than you might think.
Interesting. See, that just seems so bold to me.
Well, it's not about, getting something for nothing. It's about a coach being willing to put their money where their mouth is,
So it's like a vote of confidence for the person signing up.
Exactly. They're saying, I believe in what I do, I believe in my ability to help you, and I'm willing to back that up.
It's huge. It takes that risk factor away, or at least minimizes it. Okay, so before we wrap up, we wanted to share some insights from a specific coach that we came across, Stephen Lin.
Oh, yeah. What do you think of his approach?
I like it. First of all, the guy has been working with startups for over 15 years.
Yeah. Wow. So he's seen it all.
Right. He's been there, done that, got the t-shirt. And he seems really passionate about helping startup founders navigate uncertainty, which, let's be honest, that's 90% of the job description.
Pretty much. It takes a certain kind of person to coach in that environment.
Totally. And get this, he's a huge proponent of the lean startup methodology, which, for anyone who's not familiar, it's all about testing your assumptions early, iterating quickly, and being okay with pivoting if you need to. It's about being agile, which is so crucial in this day and age when things change so quickly.
Oh, yeah, you got to be able to adapt.
Exactly.
No more of that set it and forget it mentality.
Okay, well, that just about brings us to the end of our deep dive into the wild world of business coaching. We covered a lot today, from, the basics of what coaching even is to whether it's worth the investment.
And how to choose the right kind of coaching for you.
Right. Super important. We even got a glimpse into one coach's unique perspective, which is always fascinating.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, this is just the beginning of your journey, right? So what resonated with you today? What questions came up for you?
Yeah, what are you going to do with all this information?
We want to hear from you.
Because ultimately, you're the one who gets to decide what's best for you and your business. But hopefully, this deep dive has given you a bit more clarity, maybe a little more confidence to make those decisions.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So on that note, we'll let you go off and ponder all those juicy questions. Until next time, happy entrepreneuring, everybody.